In this video, I want to show you how to weave in your ends when you have garter stitch, and it's important that you weave them in neatly because, like on this Mobius cowl, both sides could be showing and you don't really have a wrong side. So in garter stitch, when it's not stretched out, you see a bunch of horizontal bars that are like the purl ridges is what we commonly call them. But when you stretch it out, you can see that you've got a ridge of purls here, and then you've got a line of knit stitches in between and another ridge of purls. And what I like to do when I weave in my tails where it's got to be invisible on both sides is using a method commonly called duplicate stitch. So I'm going to follow the stitch work the whole way through, because remember, knitting is just one strand of yarn that's looped and looped and looped. So if you're following my needle tip, I am kind of tracing one strand of yarn as it is worked through the piece. And when I sew in my ends, I'm going to follow that strand of yarn and duplicate stitch it. And I'm going to start again. So you can see the yarn comes up here, it comes around, down back underneath this little loop here, comes down, makes a little like a smile here, back up to make the knit stitch, goes behind these two, back down here, back through this loop here. It's got your little smile right there, back up through. And what I'm going to do with my tail is just use my darning needle and sew my tail in following that exact same path as those stitches, just like I did here. And I did it with white so that you could see it against the purple. You know, if I had done this with the purple, it would be very invisible. You would really have a hard time seeing it. So I would start up here at the edge, and I would go down a row or two. I'm following this yarn right here, and it goes down behind these two legs, comes back out on this side. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go behind those two legs, comes back out and down through the purl bump that is at the bottom there. And then it comes across the bottom here and up through this purl bump. And I know this is hard to see on video, so I would encourage you to take a piece of your own work and stretch it out and try to see this on your own work. So now it comes up through that purl bump, and right here is the strand I'm following. It goes underneath these two, and then back down through that same purl bump I just came up through. And you just keep following that strand across the row. 5-6 stitches is all you need to do. I like to leave myself about a 1-inch tail after I'm done weaving it in, and until after I've blocked it and even worn it a few times, because leaving about a 1-inch tail is long enough to keep it from pulling out of the end stitches that it's in, but not so long that it's going to be obvious. And then after I've worn it a few times, I'll cut that tail short. And what that does is it gives the tail time to work itself into the fabric and keep it from wiggling out once you do cut it short.